Hello, everybody.
Hola. How are you?
Episode 4, the Thursday Exchange. Excited to be here today. We have a lot of interesting topics to discuss. We have a very, very special guest, the very talented Ibae Black. Yes, he's a social media influencer, director, art director, man of many trades. So I'm excited to have him on later tonight. But yeah, we have a lot of stuff to talk about this week. This has been one hell of a week. Yeah.
Yes. And before we get into all that, just quick public service announcement. I'm not afraid to talk about it just because it's part of my life. It's who I am. But you may have noticed last week during the broadcast that I got a little bit sleepy in the middle. I have a sleep disorder called narcolepsy. So if anybody has questions about it, feel free to reach out. But basically, that can happen from time to time. So it wasn't that I found it boring or anything like that. I just kind of was like, okay. It's just
I didn't know how to. I just didn't know how to tell you. I didn't want to be like, wake up and like slap something.
I texted you afterwards. I'm like, I think I almost fell asleep on live broadcast.
Well, I'm happy. I'm happy that you're open to tell the world, because I didn't want people to be like thinking that you're like nodding off on heroin or something.
Yeah,
like, what is this guy doing with this drug addict?
Nope,
but
just narcolepsy without cataplexy. You have any questions? I'll answer them.
So
now on to the rest of the shit that happened this week.
So this has been an interesting week. Now, we're going to start off with the light topics as usual to open you guys up to wonder of the world. Okay, so North Carolina man, he receives a lottery ticket from his boss. Guy ends up winning $200,000.
How much does a hitman cost?
I mean, I don't know how many times during Secret Santas at work or family get-togethers I've handed out scratch-offs. I don't know what I would do if the person actually won, though. I mean, if you won like, $200, I'd kind of be disappointed in myself because I'd probably won $100.
Yeah,
but
it would hurt me a little bit, but
if you won like $1 million, 100,000, 200,000, I would freak the fuck out.
There was another story about that, like when I was a kid growing up. I remember hearing about this one person who basically they let the person in front of them. No, it was my mom who told me about it. There was, I think she was at Stewart's buying lotto tickets, and this person behind her was in such a rush that she's like, "Fine, you just go." And then the guy won the freaking lotto.
It sucks. I mean, last week, the guy, we were talking about the last week's current events, the guy won $50,000 twice within a year, yet people still don't got their gosh darn stimmy yet. They're telling him to claim it in your taxes. Listen, people,
It's starting to sound like a dirty word.
I'm going to say it all over every week until we get our stimmies. Now I'm already waiting on the next one, because guess what? We deserve it. You guys want to give foreign aid to other countries and spend it on God knows what? You
could buy a missile money. Or you could invest in your population. Which
exactly.
Because I'm pretty sure we've got more missiles than everybody else right now. Do we really need that many more?
Exactly. For dog lovers out there, you dog lovers, I know there's a few of you out there. There's a man out there who spends $400 at the vet just to find out that his dog has been imitating him. The guy was, I guess the guy had
like a parrot? Like probably want a cracker?
Well, the guy was limping and the dog was limping, but the guy never thought to think that the dog was actually imitating him. But so he took him to the vet and he was like, what's going on? They did all these tests on the dog and realized that the dog was just imitating its owner.
Yep. Well, it's like when you have the people who are like, "Oh, my dog, she's so nervous and afraid." I'm like, no. Your dog's nervous and afraid because you're nervous and afraid.
I mean, I wish my dog would imitate me. Like, hey, got to take a shit? Want to sit on the toilet? I would be happy for things like that, as opposed to cleaning up the yard.
Very bizarre.
You want to get yourself something to eat? Go ahead, go get it. Go get that shit.
Gosh.
Get yourself a treat. Damn it. You don't have to roll over anymore.
And don't do it while sleepwalking. I know this from firsthand experience. You walk into things.
How about this one? How about this story? You're at the grocery store in Canada, okay? You're picking out your produce, your vegetables, your fruit. You go pick out your bananas and you realize a white powdery substance, draining out of your bananas. And you realize it's cocaine. lots and
I was going to say
lots
stevia.
of lots of cocaine. This grocery store chain literally had boxes and boxes of bananas stuffed with cocaine.
Is it Whole Foods and then it's organic cocaine?
I don't want to get. I don't know, but I guess what I'm trying to say is just be careful, with your fruits. I also saw this other bust
Beware the banana.
recently with pineapples, where they were opening up the pineapples and cocaine was stuffed in the pineapple shell. They're getting creative now, guys. It's not just like fake
Drug
soda
mules.
cans. Yeah, these drug mules are getting real creative now.
Well, it's like side panels of the car. They remove them and like pack them in there. It's like, okay.
That's a thing of the. That's 20.
We got coconuts
20.
now. We got bunches
coconuts.
of coconuts
And bananas.
I've got a lovely
So the thing is,
coconuts. Diddly-dee.
You see, bananas typically are soft. So when you picked up this banana and it felt like a fucking rock, because I'm sure a banana stuffed with cocaine is pretty heavy.
Wouldn't it have bruised also? Like, I mean, think about it. The moment you break the skin on the banana, it starts to turn brown.
Creative.
Or you just didn't care that it was like black. I'm like, I'm gonna eat that crap no matter what.
Some people say darker the fruit, sweeter.
Oh, it's saying our video has no sound.
What's that?
Teresa just wrote saying our video has no sound.
I don't know.
Donna, can you hear us? That would suck otherwise.
Can you check the audio? I would hope so.
Like an hour and a half of.
I hope not. That would stink. Some people say. There's
All right.
audio. There's
You
audio.
probably just have to push the little button that makes the headphone turn on, Teresa.
Come on, Teresa. Get with the program, Teresa.
Making it hard.
But so I don't know if you remember, like through all these like big protests that were going on, there was the giant balloon Trump baby that was wearing a diaper.
Didn't they have it for the Thanksgiving Day parade?
I highly doubt it. It's a protest balloon, but basically, a museum in London is now going to use this for their protest themed collection. So they're going to have a whole protest themed collection, and that's going to be a part of it. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. I guess, it is a sign of the times. I mean, you'll always remember what was going on during that time period, of course.
I just saw a meme of Trump wearing a pair of granny panties that say juicy right on the back while he's playing tennis. So, I mean, there's a lot of funny crap out there.
It's been a wild week. And I know we have a lot of funny, silly stories, but it's a good thing.
Speaking of which, how's this for a weird one? I thought it had to be a hoax when I heard it because, like, first of all, why would you do it? But there's a man who injected psilocybin into his veins to try and cure his bipolar disorder. He made a tea out of it, which, okay. And then he injected it intravenously. He had a history of mental illness and stuff, but he ended up growing mushroom like mycelium through his bloodstream and causing secondary infections, jaundice. The guy nearly died. I think he went into a coma. Like, he's recovered now, but it's don't do that.
You know what, people? This is what happens when there's not universal health care. You start treating your own ailments.
It's like going back to
Christ.
medieval ages. Let's sprinkle some horse dung on it. That'll help.
Do you know how many people I know personally that they can't afford a dental bill or health insurance, and they're just like winging it, like, oh, tooth hurts. Oh, that should need stitches. There's some duct tape. I mean, it's sad. It's a sad reality that,
A skin tag. I went $1,000, pair of scissors, and cauterize.
Oh, don't. No.
Not a good idea.
Don't do it, people.
No, don't.
Public service announcement.
And it's very
don't
messy.
do that at home. Not at all. But I'm just saying, like,
I'm pretty dumb for a bright guy.
It's really sad. This guy, did he suffer from like mental illness? Is this another stemming back from a few weeks conversation we had?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm saying did he suffer from mental illness?
Oh yeah, he did. He has bipolar disorder, and he was suffering through some pretty severe depression. So it's a sad story. The guy nearly died trying to feel better, but it just was misguided. He took the Trump method: inject Clorox into your veins,
Hey.
or whatever it was.
Don't do that either.
Lysol or whatever it
was. It bleach? Wasn't it bleach?
Disinfectant or something like that.
So in Northeast China tests positive. Their ice cream has tested positive for COVID-19. So I'm hoping none of that got shipped to the United States.
I'm just going to lay off of ice cream for a little while.
Yeah.
I mean, it's freezing cold out.
Apparently, it was something to do with poor hygiene in their factories that made the ice cream, but they had COVID in the ice cream.
That's a little bizarre.
Yeah. This is, I hate saying this stuff because it's stranger than fiction. I don't want anyone to believe that we have some sort of polarizing view, a political view on anything. Mm-hmm. But apparently Biden this week, when he stepped into the office, he, hello? Hello? Did you leave me all alone? Where did you go, Stefan? Hello?
I'm back. Sorry, I got booted.
Okay, sorry about that, people watching and like, what the hell's going on here?
They're like, disappearing act.
Stop touching your fucking screen. Biden, his first day in office, before he started signing all these executive orders, he removed the Diet Coke button from the Oval Office that Trump had put in. Apparently, Donald Trump was so bougie that he had a Diet Coke button in the Oval Office where he just pressed it and servants would come in there.
Did it have like one of those little robots that came over like, here's your Diet Coke?
It is funny. And like I said, this is a nonpartisan show, but that is wild. Like you have a Diet Coke button on your desk, like, like an emergency button under like a bank
or
teller's
did you have
desk.
like a little fountain spigot?
It was a Diet Coke button. Like people would come and serve him it. I mean, we all know that he has like golden toilet seats, like 14 karat gold toilet seats in his home. We know that. We've seen the the Cribs episode, or him giving a tour.
That would just make me feel
and
sad.
Wiping his ass with cashmere. But beyond that, I mean, the Diet Coke button is pretty funny.
Yeah. Well, here's another thing. Made sometimes you just need to be able to laugh. People like, I know it's such a polarized time right now, but like if people can just see sometimes that there is a humor in what somebody's saying about a situation, and sometimes it's intended to be a little bit like get under your skin a little bit because it's a sensitive topic, but it's a good way to broach that topic is through humor, not immediately turning around and going, ah!
Well, that's really a lot of these like silly topics and a lot of the stuff we're talking about, it's all relative because this week we're really talking about the power of social media and intolerance of people's opinions and beliefs. A lot of, you've been seeing it, mm-hmm. whether you're a certain religion, whether you believe, like last episode we were talking about, are there aliens? Is Tupac alive or dead? And we're asking all these crazy, where is Bigfoot? And silly as it sounds, there's people out there, conspiracy theorists, let them believe what they want to believe. But let them believe what they want to believe. If they're not harming you.
But I'm going to have the right to make fun of you, though.
You do. But there should be a discussion. Healthy discussions is what makes things prosper and get better. And that's what this episode is truly about. And I'm really excited about. But I have one more fun fact. But McDonald's.
Go ahead. Sorry.
McDonald's. And I guess people don't know this, that there's different menus at different McDonald's around the world. For example, if you go to Maine, they might have like lobster patties and crab.
In Hawaii, they have poi cakes.
Mm-hmm. Well, in this McDonald's in China, okay, they're selling a spam burger topped with crushed Oreo cookies and a layer of thick mayo on top.
Is that population control?
Maybe this is the cure, the cause of the coronavirus. Maybe this is where this all stems.
Whatever it is, it shouldn't be mixed. That's a sin against food.
Yeah. So,
spam is a sin against food, but you add all that other crap to it? No.
Listen, I was raised on like hood ideologies. So frying spam up for breakfast.
You can make it work, but you don't want to know what's in it.
Oh no, I mean I eat hot dogs and I eat bologna, so
yeah,
I'm a hillbilly.
Sausages are made out of intestines.
I mean we do it all.
Yeah.
So here's some advice for the week, guys. You know it's been cold out.
Be a vegetarian.
No, well, another whole topic. It's been really cold out, people, and the ice is forming on the roofs. Here's a reason why you should never, ever eat ice cubes or icicles from the roof. Okay?
Guilty. I did that as a kid.
Well, you're about to find out why you should never do that. Now, think about it. We all know not to eat the yellow snow, right? We know that.
What if you're colorblind?
Well, don't do it. Don't eat snow, okay? We know why we don't eat that, but apparently, I mean, ice is formed from melting water on the roof, rolling down. And what is on the roof, people? Bird shit. There's bird shit on the roof. Don't do it. So when you're sucking on that ice cube, you know what you're sucking on.
During Hurricane, I think it was Sandy, when we lost power for a week, I got so desperate for a shower that I literally went outside underneath the drain pipe. I didn't get undressed or anything, but I was just like, water.
So all the filth from the roof just rinsed off all your sins?
I was a kid. I wasn't really thinking about it, but in retrospect, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. I mean, we've all done really nasty things as kids. I mean, half the lakes, I mean, like I would swim in this local lake up here, and apparently that's where like they dumped, like the mafia dumped all the bodies, for like from the city back in like, I don't know, the 70s, 80s or whatever. And I'm
Where
like,
was this?
It's somewhere around Loch Sheldrick. Apparently
Okay.
they dump bodies there. Maybe
I mean,
it's a rumor.
It is kind of remote and quiet and freaky.
Yeah, so we all did wild things, and we continue to do them. But I mean, the big story of the week, and this is going to headline us into intolerance in general, is yesterday was a very historical day here for America. Whatever you believe, you can't say it's not historical. I mean,
I think we can all celebrate that we didn't have a revolution.
Exactly. There was no violence that took place yesterday, at least in the Capitol. I mean, you hear about little protests here and there.
There was a one-man protest in Albany for Trump, or one-man Trump rally.
People want to believe what they want to believe.
Fine,
fight for their whatever.
I felt bad for him. I kind of wanted to play like a sad song for him because he was walking back and forth with his little flag.
I mean, just think about it. We have our 46th president of the United States, our very first woman vice president. Whether you love her or hate her, this is something that women all over the world now could look up to. That they now, their boundaries are limitless. They could now obtain a position of power like that. And there's going to be people out there that are going to hate me for saying it, but like whether you love her or hate her, you can't deny the fact that this is going to be inspiring for generations to come.
And it's also a motivation for why she may have been chosen. And I'm not saying it is, but it could be part of it. Because just like when Biden got elected as vice president, it was like you got to have the white vice president with the black president. And now it's like the vice versa. I don't know if it really is that or not, but it just, politics are sometimes a little bit see-through.
Yeah, it is. It's just the idea that the person obtains that power now. Like however they came to power is one thing. There's
we got to work on that in the future. We got to make that a little less like chaotic.
Yeah, I mean, but the main thing that I really came out of the inauguration was the whole idea of unity. That's the one real topic that he said over and over again. He did not give a divisive inauguration speech. Now, if you guys want to go on YouTube right now, not right now, after the show, if you guys go on YouTube right now and you watch the inauguration when Trump became president, his inauguration speech was extremely divisive. He talked about draining the swamp. He talked about like how America, his vision of America was like, he talked about this like dystopian America, which we're kind of like living in right now.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
And this isn't against him. It's just the way, if you want to bring people together in unity, he speaks of unity and bringing both parties together, people of all different religions. This doesn't mean, you're going to behold racism and bigotry and all this other stuff, it means you're going to have uncomfortable conversations and find a middle ground and make sure that everyone is created and treated equally. So with this whole idea of unity and social media, a lot of the supporters from both sides, I mean, we understand why, the Trump supporters are feeling burnt and angry. They lost.
That, and also Biden. Yeah, go ahead.
And with the Biden supporters, a lot of them, this is the guy they're looking up to that's talking about unity, but they a lot of them, like on my social media, at least, like I want to like delete a lot of people because they're spreading hatred that's continuing the stuff that they're supposedly against from the Trump administration. You were so upset with that, how things went, but now you're like, if you believe in this thing, you're no longer family. You're no longer friends. We can't talk. Like, shut the fuck up.
It'll be interesting to see if there will be any more protests now that Biden is president, in terms of like from Black Lives Matter or whatever it may be, just because all of a sudden it got completely silent the moment he got elected as the nominee.
Well, I don't know if that's a conspiracy theory. I don't think so. I think it's been years of
years
of built up frustration and stuff. It's just like, like it was the tipping point.
And I think what we have going on right now also is you have, unfortunately, like racism has always existed. It'll always exist until humans are not here anymore. And then the next species will probably take it up on their end. But literally you have a whole portion of Trump supporters, like, and this isn't the majority, but there is a whole portion of them who quite often there were some people there who were white supremacists. I hate to say it. Not all of them. Most of them were not, but I think that there were definitely some there. And this gave them an opportunity to finally go, like raise their voice. And the problem is that you have one person do something, the next person's going to retaliate. Then you're going to retaliate for that harder, and then harder, and then harder, and then harder. And you can't come to an agreement by doing that. And it's sad.
The whole idea, people, is, I mean, there was years ago that we never discussed politics. Like, it wasn't so like open, like it was kind of a secret who you supported.
Yeah.
Not saying that we have to do that, but if you're willing to go out there and tell your point of view, be okay with the other point of view. Like I was telling you about the discussion last week where the guy had made a political post and literally his friends were saying, "You're a loser, kill yourself." Like, people won't change.
And that person didn't get blocked on social media, I assume, for saying you're a loser, kill yourself.
Of course not. I mean, it's a pick and choose situation. So the intolerance levels are at an all-time high. And if you guys truly support his message, and as conservatives and Republicans, at this point, why wouldn't you want to support a cause that would benefit our country? This is where we live. This is where, this is our lives in this country. Like, why wouldn't you want it to prosper? Like, anyone, and another thing, I've seen posts, I can't wait until he fails. Why would you? That's like the stupidest shit I've ever heard.
That's like saying, like, I hope our driver goes into a tree.
Exactly. Like, let's open our minds, open our hearts. And that's a good thing. Like,
you don't have to like him, but you do have to work with him.
He's playing a he knows what he's saying. He knows what he's doing. He knows there's half the country who generally despise him. But at the same time, he knows, like, listen, you don't have to like me, but try to see me who I am, like, see my heart. It's something that, I'm misquoting a little bit, but he really tried to, reach out to say, I am a president for both. Whether you voted for me or not, I'm going to be your president. And, he's trying to do what's best for the country. Not saying I agree with everything he stands for and anything like that, but I'm just saying, like, as a time for unity to get things to move forward.
Yeah.
Don't wish him bad luck. Don't wish our country bad.
Inauguration that we need to stop that whole practice of like trying to burn. But at the same time, like literally every president, when they first get into office, they basically put out a list of executive orders, which initially was supposed to be kind of like an extreme measure. Executive orders were kind of like if the president really felt this was necessary, then we're going to pass this. Now it's become a tradition. Just the moment you get into office, you've got at least like 10, 15, 20, 100 orders that you're going to sign that basically negate what the previous president did.
Exactly.
And they all do that, every single one. So, yes, it's a peaceful transition, but you're also burning down sometimes bridges that were good. Sometimes not every policy was good, but sometimes you're going to take down policies that were just because it's from the outside.
No matter what presidency, it is frustrating to see that, because when they do those, 360s every 4 or 8 years,
It
like,
sets us back.
for 8 years, you're going one way and then it flips. So there's some good and bad things people might disagree, and there's some good things that come from most administrations, but there's a balancing act. It's like a teeter-totter, and like, I don't want to get too political, but the whole idea is
it's unity. We're at a time where, though, it's almost impossible to talk about anything that's in the public sphere that doesn't have to do, at least in some degree, with it.
It is. It's just the whole idea of, in general, being tolerant to other people's beliefs and views. And it doesn't have to just be political. It's religious. It's cultural. People don't realize that some of the shit that comes out their mouth is pure ignorance. Mm-hmm. And,
we're all guilty of it sometimes. We all say stuff and then we're like, oh, why did I say that?
We are, but it's on the forefront now where it's becoming hatred, and the things won't come together. Like that's all we want, is people to come together and, give a pound, a handshake. I mean, we can't do that during COVID, but you could wave to him. Hey,
is there really much difference between this and this? I mean, yes, there's more surface area, but I mean, you're still touching the person.
Listen, I read something, some article today that apparently the pound has taken place of the handshake for 2020 due to
or the elbow bump is quite often I've seen a lot of. That's just.
Listen,
whatever. Granted, this whole like the salute thing, and even to some degree handshaking, that came from back when we had visors on our helmets and we would lift it up to salute other people. So there's always there's a reason why these things all come into place. So, but yeah,
I will admit I do miss the handshake.
Yes, me too.
I went to an interview
and hugs
recently, and listen, if you're in my sphere, I'm hugging you. Like maybe not hugging you, but I'm. Yeah, you get a hug, motherfucker. But I hug. But what it is, like, when you're doing a professional interview, it's a human connection. It's looking each other in the eyes. It's the firm handshake to show I'm what I don't know. It's something professional about it.
There's a whole psychology behind it. Like even the way you put your hand in for a handshake. Like if you're going in like this, you're automatically going in a submissive place. If you're going in like this, you're coming in as the dominant one. Like there's all these little things that people don't even think about.
Going in like this,
then you're creative.
Sorry, people, but
wasn't expecting that one.
No. But listen, back to the serious stuff. I just, hey, I got an opinion myself, but I think that people should come together for the greater cause, for our country. Yes. Have those uncomfortable conversations. You could still have your point of view, but all the hatred and you're no longer my friend. We can no longer talk. Listen, talk about other shit. If you're
if you do that, just go like this.
Yes. Listen, we're talk about some other shit. Like if you're very religious, and you believe a certain way, like you're never gonna change that person's mind.
No. For
this is what they believe. You know what I'm saying?
And they believe it wholeheartedly. And, God bless them. Like, if that's what they believe. But like you said, you're not going to change their mind with any rational argument, because you're basing a rational argument on something that requires faith in order for it to work. It does. The rationality of faith is I believe something that by laws of science should not exist or happen or whatever, but I believe it. You really going to think that you're going to convince them by being rational? Or what you think is rational? Because I mean, exactly. I'm a religious person too. So I mean, but it just, you're not. It's a losing battle.
Exactly, and that's the whole thing. Because right now, the intolerance is real, and social media, the power of social media is real. I mean, elections are won and lost, not just on the presidential level, but on a level, Senate, governors, local, through their social media presence. Whether they're strong or weak, what people post, fake news, people's false shit, is getting people in deep dirt or misinterpreted, nonsense they've done, where people like, oh, he hates, the poor because
Yep.
he walked past a panhandler in New York City. I mean, you name it.
Well, if you can take sound bites out of anything and make anybody sound like whatever you want them to be, like I can make J-Lo sound like the most eloquent speaker in the world, or Kanye West, and then turn Donald Trump into a gibbering idiot and make Biden look like, Popeye. Like all you have to do is just choose the right words that are coming out. And now they even have programs where you can mimic their voices. So it's just
talking about J-Lo. I gotta stop you right there. So yesterday she sang at the inauguration, which was wonderful. However, I forget what she was singing, but she was singing in Spanish. It was beautiful, whatever. Mm-hmm. But then she ended up singing one of her own hits. And there's such controversy going on right now because it's like she put a shameless plug at the inauguration and just started singing like.
Is that what that little bit at the end of the song was?
Yeah.
I was
apparently
like, wait a second, I don't remember
bits.
that from America the Beautiful. America, America. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. And then apparently, Lady Gaga came there looking like she came from the Hunger Games. I don't know if you've ever seen the Hunger Games, but she looked like Madame from the Hunger. I was like, what the hell? They were well dressed. So, but the power of social media.
I'm pleased that they let Pence go up there and that they didn't like. It was a tense situation. I mean,
it's it's tradition though. I mean, and that's what. Getting back into it. Think about it. Politicians, the unity thing, it works to a certain regard. So I'm telling everyone to be unified. But at the same time, if you really have a disdain and a true belief that you dislike people, it's really hard to sit in the same room, even as professionals. I mean, Kamala Harris and Mike Pence were going at it, in the debates, and mm-hmm. Clearly, I mean, but it's their politicians.
I mean, even Kamala and Biden were going at it in the debates.
Exactly. So it's like and
Trump Biden and Obama didn't get along in the beginning either. They were running against each other initially.
Honestly, I feel like that's the difference, though. If you guys got to think like the psychology a little bit behind it, like Trump never really was a politician.
No, he was a loudmouth who got into a political role.
Yeah, he was a business mogul, whatever. But the problem is, he never was like the politician type. So I think he took a lot of the debates super ultra personal, and a lot of these politicians over the years, they kind of let the dirt throwing bounce off their shoulders. And like, the campaigns, the mudslinging, that's been going on forever.
And it's been beneficial to them because let's face it, like the media is a business. They need to, like when I became a photographer, when I first started out, I applied for a job at Times Herald Record newspaper in Middletown, and they took me in for an interview. And I remember the editor was a really nice guy, John DeSanto, and he was very helpful, like giving me a lot of advice and stuff. But he asked me, he's like, "Why on earth did you pick this field?" And I'm like, "Well, because I want to be a photographer." He's like, "Yeah, it's newspapers are a dying breed." And at the time, I'm like, "No. They've changed, so they're not dead, but." The print media, like that company has gone out of business probably 5-7 times, been bought out by different companies, and they have to print out newspapers from all different publications from around the country just to make the quota they need to make it cost effective to run the mill the printing press. So it's he wasn't wrong. And when you have that kind of a situation, you gotta put what sells, and unfortunately, sensationalism sells.
You want to know something? A lot of the news that I get personally, I don't remember the last time I picked up a paper newspaper. Like if I'm in the paper, for an event or
if I photographed it, then I take a copy.
I'll buy the paper.
Yeah.
However, a lot of the news I get from is right online. Facebook has their own little news button. Now people are like, whatever news you watch.
Facebook news, I'm sorry.
Well, it's different sources. It comes from different sources, various different sources. But I'm saying like, sometimes we'll come from CNN, Yahoo, whatever. We'll go to the Facebook button. But I'm saying I don't remember the last time I actually bought it. But the power of social media, a lot of times I don't read the news at all. I'll be scrolling my news feed on Instagram or Facebook, and like someone will post like a tragedy or a big event that's going on locally or a national event that's happening. Like I believe it was you who posted something on Facebook about the Capitol riots.
Yeah, because I was stunned.
I wasn't sitting there watching the news.
Yeah,
it was one of my friends or people posting their stuff. So the power of social media, like, it really does affect us. Like,
and that single post led to me deleting someone, to people arguing, to like a whole like, I'm usually lucky if I get like 5-10 comments on a picture or something that I post. That thing had like, I stopped counting after.
What about your nudes?
Wait, what?
I said, what about your nudes? Those are the ones you get like the 100+ likes.
I don't think I posted any. I don't think I have any.
You mean to tell me you don't have an OnlyFans account? Oh,
I've gone to an OnlyFans account, but
oh, Jesus Christ! So yeah. So listen, we really, you know what I mean? Like, we could go on and on and on about the power of social media, but it really, there's so many examples out there of how
we're using it right now.
We're using it right now, and people are like, "This is blasphemy," or whatever is going on, like. So people are, people are watching some of our stuff.
Well, that's a good thing.
Oh, good. We got comments. Hey, people. Hey, world. And beautiful. Lady Gaga was unbelievably amazing, and she looked like she was from the Hunger Games. That's deeper.
I'm just glad she didn't wear a meat dress.
You know what, though? Speaking on behalf of Lady Gaga, she is really talented.
She's amazing.
I prefer her as an actress. She can do anything, but
what movie was she in?
The hell is it? She was in that country movie. You always put Star is Born. That's what it was called. A Star is Born. That was a really great movie.
I didn't see
it. Had a tear to my eye. It was really well done. You really fall in love with her character. But when she first came out in the industry, she really wanted to look different and be edgy. And a lot of stuff she did, like, I'm a big Marilyn Manson fan. It was very reminiscent of like the Marilyn Manson type image.
And
like
Madonna too, like very similar kind of outrageousness.
The very gothy look, the meat dress, all the hook shit she did, whatever. It reminded me of that. But I really do love her as an actress. I mean, she was on American Horror Story as well. She did really well in there. There's actually an actress I've worked with in the past, Janelle Tana, if you're watching this. She reminds me a lot of Lady Gaga. Some stuff. I mean, I hope that's not an insult to you, but I think it's I don't think it's an insult. I think it's pretty amazing compliment. But
yeah, she's on the top of her game. So, and she's, like you said, she is beautiful. So
yeah, she could do anything really. And everyone out there waiting for Ibae Black, he is coming. He will be on the show shortly, so stay tuned still. But yeah, so
and
so what do you feel?
Go ahead.
No, I said, what are you feeling right now with this social media outrage? And because right now it's stronger than ever.
Let's see. Teresa just wrote, she's been trying to make it big for a few years. Nobody paid attention to her. Yeah, basically now people are paying attention to her. Yeah.
No, she's definitely paid attention. When we talk about Lady Gaga, I mean, she's like an Oscar winner, I believe. Multiple Grammy winner. I think she has an Emmy for. I think she won.
Got an Emmy. I don't got a stimmy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she got an Emmy for American Horror Story. She got an Oscar for A Star Is Born, and she got a multiple, Grammys for multiple albums she's done. So she's doing well.
Yeah,
it's a compliment. It's a compliment. She's a big deal. She's the big cheese. But but like now it's with social media, you see a lot of people now, because of their views on certain things, whether it's like their influence on people is strong. Like, Kylie Jenner is on a new diet. She got new butt implants. All the girls are wearing the special jeans that make their ass look great.
You ever remember when we used to make fun of mom jeans, and now all of a sudden, like, that's the thing again?
Listen, I'm all for you know what it is, and a lot of girls be tucking stuff with the mom jeans way up, but I mean,
and the
I'm not a fat shamer at all. I'm not.
No, I mean, I'm a pudgy little bugger too.
But at the same time, like, things come back. I guess trends come back. But the influence of like what you post and popularity, I guess, like if you get your numbers up, and that's a great thing with eBay, with his whole following and social media and YouTube account, he's really mastered how to strike an audience and how to influence them just by his charisma and personality. Who would have known? I wish I was as, as charismatic and enthusiastic. I could be sometimes.
I'm pretty happy with my own level of charisma. I have my moments where I should probably just shut up, though.
Listen, we love you the way you are.
Anyways.
Let me read some of the comments from the people out there. Careful, guys. LOL. Uh-oh. Correct Charles. She's an awesome artist.
Oh,
hey. We love Lady Gaga. We weren't saying
cool.
anything negative.
No, not at all.
I don't know if she was targeting us.
I just didn't like her meat dress, that's all.
Well, to be honest, it made me want some steak.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's that. So going back to social media, though, turns out that Facebook is deciding to hand over the decision on whether or not to ban Trump completely over to their oversight board. So at least they're still in negotiation. But
what's your opinion on that? Be honest. What's your opinion on that?
Look, it's complicated because you have them. They are right contractually. We do press I agree every time we use any one of those apps on the phone. So technically we are signing away our rights to certain things. So in that sense, they have a point. But they've gotten to a point also where they...
You don't think it's politically driven?
Oh, I think it's 100% politically driven at this point because the people who are in charge of those companies are affiliated with certain groups. But it's also, I think more than politics, it's motivated by money. And let's face it, money and politics are intertwined irrevocably at this point.
Yeah, it
becomes a
tragedy,
very gray line.
We were speaking about this weeks ago about the freedom of speech and how free it is. But, people are saying, oh, well, he incited violence and stuff. But there is like active, like hatred-based groups that are named fluffy dogs on like Facebook. I mean, we're not going to say that. We're on Facebook, we're using the platform, but there is people out there, personal accounts, fake accounts or whatever that spew that. I think it was a power thing. You got the president of the United States. He has a lot, like we were talking about influence. He has a lot of influence. Like he has way more influence than you and I. If I was to tell you to arm up and go crazy, that's going to do a lot less than if
I would tell you.
There's people out there.
No.
Like when Trump beat Hillary Clinton a few years ago, there was people screaming at the sky, in protest,
crying and all that sort of stuff.
And now people are crying, doing the same shit. It's like the reverse, screaming like we need him back. Like, dude, if politics is your end all be all, get a life. Like, we're talking about it now, but we're talking about it in, I guess, an objectified way. But like when people you're crying, you're screaming at the sky, like, no, like just don't do it. Yeah. Don't do it. Don't get that influenced by, yes, things will change. We want things to change for the better. But
I think people need to just start actually looking at some of our history in the world and just start comparing that to this past year and seeing what similarities we've exhibited in our country compared to what other countries did before they broke out into conflict. And then really step back and evaluate, is this something that we want to continue doing? Because every other time it's happened, it's ended one way. And we don't want to be in another war, especially amongst ourselves. Like, we literally went after 9/11, the whole country unified, and now we're at the point where people are about ready to deck each other in the face or throw Molotov cocktails at each other. Like, come on. It's
wild. You know what it is, though? It's years and years of sweeping stuff under the rug. And
that's the problem, yeah.
There's things that people see, and, I'm a very opinionated person. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to do a podcast. I mean, at times we find ourselves stepping on eggshells. However,
if we discuss it ahead of time, we're like, should we bring this up?
Yeah, but at the same time, it's important to show your views because that's what we're promoting, freedom of speech. And, if you don't disagree with me, let's have a conversation. But the whole idea that you got to step on eggshells. It's wild. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
I'm saying.
You got to do what you want. Say what you mean. You know, be unified, be friends,
and then
hold
everybody
hands.
eat cake.
Or from, you know, or don't eat a carrot or something. So let's go through some of the comments here. Freedom of speech without attacking.
Yes,
Very
thank you,
true.
Roseanne.
Exactly. Correct, Stefan, she says.
So let's see.
So we're going into we're in 2021 now. And like, what do you hope to see? As like, because we were talking how, you know, these social media influences have really gotten not out of control, but like you obtain a certain amount of power, you can pretty much do anything. You can move masses in a way.
Well, if you look at the big ones, like literally what they say influence people. I mean, let's face it, Trump was a social media influencer because he basically put everything on social media, and now it bit him in the butt because he took it too far. But still, like it has a lot of reach.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's
frightening amount of reach.
Where do you think we're going in 2021? We're going in a positive direction now?
I'll get back to you on that. I'm going to sure as hell make it my best effort to make it in a positive direction. I really hope people step back and realize how close we came to going beyond the point of no return.
I mean, we're at a place right now where they're saying the virus is going to get much worse than it is now. And we have to be prepared for whatever's to come our way. I mean, I'm not telling you guys to buy all the toilet paper. But
no, please don't. I still got to buy some, and I'm not going to rush to the store to hoard up on it. So leave some for the ones who procrastinate.
Exactly. We got to be prepared mentally more this time. I mean, and due to the pandemic, and as I was saying before, our presence on social media has grown stronger.
Yes.
An event like this might have been a live event in the past. Probably not, but it could have been. But I'm saying like things like this have become more popular, and bases have been built. And you know, about our guest who's about to come on soon, he's really modeled his life around this pandemic to be creative and focus on his crafts at hand, and you know, stay busy, stay positive, because right now there's, like I said, we're going back to the mental health thing. What
we all
do we
crazy,
have?
so it's going to be a recurring topic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so, it's true though. Like I mean, he really has taken advantage of that. Even we have, like, to a large degree, like it has inspired for myself a lot of creativity. Just you know, I know I mentioned it in the first episode, but like I became like an avid gardener this year. Started learning how to grow like culinary mushrooms. I tried new hobbies, went hiking. Like we explored like pretty much every abandoned place we could find, and sometimes went to them twice. Made like TikTok videos.
I'm all for adventure. Throw me an adventure. That's what I'm for. If it's positivity, you know, I'm gonna sound like corny, but I'm not into drugs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do drugs personally. I don't drink. I don't even drink alcohol.
I don't drink either.
People think I'm weird, like you're straight edge, you know, but the truth is I just, it's never been my thing personally.
Yeah.
I like to have a conversation. I like to be like clear-minded. And if I take Tylenol, it's because I'm like fucking really need it.
Yeah.
Because beyond that, I'll try something else.
So for me, like I don't drink, but I don't have a problem if somebody smokes around me or whatever. Like it's not a big deal. I think that as long as you're respectful of the people who are around you and you're not doing something that's like, you know, and when I say smoke, I don't mean like smoking crack. I mean like smoking. You know, there's as long as you're respectful about it and you just take into account that not everybody wants to breathe it in, and you take that, run with it, then fine. I don't have a problem with it.
What if I'm doing meth and blowing it into your face?
That would be a problem.
Yeah. Well, I won't want to do that to you.
No, because I'd be like.
I mean, speaking about crazy stories, apparently in 2021, we are going to get another stimmy.
Oh boy. And Roseanne, I'm sorry to hear that you got the virus as well. That's pretty rough.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Are you over it? We'll find out in a minute. I just found out that my niece actually is not. She doesn't have it yet or anything like that. But somebody at her school did, so they had to send everybody home and go in quarantine again. And it's just my cousin, though. I found out does, and it's starting to hit closer and closer to home.
Yeah. And nowhere in our discussion, like I know we joke a lot and we talk a lot about like this time and pandemic. Nowhere in this discussion are we making light of all those have gotten sick and who are dying and who will die, unfortunately.
It's been a painful year.
And we're trying to lighten the mood and lighten the spirit a little bit, have stuff to look forward to. I mean,
use humor for what it's supposed to be used for.
There's a woman. There was a really nice woman that was very nice to me as far as, my films and having a place to shoot and do meetings that, during this pandemic, she got COVID. Both her parents got COVID and both of her parents died one day of each other in the hospital. And she's still fighting, and she got released from the hospital. Now they're saying it might have came back. So there's a lot of like really crazy circumstances that have happened to people. Even if it hasn't happened to you, for people that want to take a blind eye and don't believe that there's anything real, I don't have much respect for those people. I mean, because it's like,
you can't pretend it doesn't exist. Like, I mean, there were a few times over the summer where like I almost felt like because it was so removed at that point, like it was on the news and everything, but in our community, it hadn't really hit around here that hard yet. I mean,
we live in the boonies. That's what.
Yeah, we live out in the woods, and even now it's hitting everybody in the woods as well. So it's like it's more real now. And so like over the summer, I was more lax than I should have been, and I'm still trying to remind myself. Sometimes I'm like, "Yo, dude, remember like." I think if you have a mask, wear the damn mask. Like, I know it's such a political issue now, but it's if you put something in front of an airflow, you're going to block some of that airflow. If that airflow is what carries the virus, by putting a mask on, you're blocking some of that virus. Ergo, wear your freaking mask. But I know people are going to hate me for that, so I'm sorry, but that's just how I feel.
Hey, listen, like I said, it's important to have opinions, or else what would a show be without strong?
Yeah. I mean, I worked in medical field for years, and I worked during Hurricane Sandy when we lost electricity in a nursing home and had to move everybody into like communal units and leave the people who had the flu or C. diff or whatever disease that they had quarantined in their area with no running water for 3 days. We managed it with bottled water and hand sanitizer and masks and gowns and proper procedures. And guess what? No one got sick.
And that's the way to be. That's the only way to be. So listen, I know you guys have been waiting. We've been sitting here rambling. We've been talking lots of shit, talking politics, talking
I've
Corona.
been talking pure gold.
But listen, it's hard to keep up this level of charisma without the man of the hour, okay? We've been sitting here blabbing away, talking our junk, but the man of the hour, Ibae Black, social media influencer, director, art director. We want to get to know him. We're going to bring him on right now, okay, people?
Dun, 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 dun.
What's going on?
Hi.
Hey, brother, what's up?
Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you good.
All right, cool.
Nothing? So what's new and exciting on your neck of the woods?
I'm now
not used to seeing you without glasses, man.
I know. Yeah. Well, that's one new thing. I have contacts now. I'm now a Las Vegas resident. I no longer live on the East Coast.
How do you like it out there?
Wow.
I love it. I don't even miss New York. Like,
do you find that you hemorrhaged money the moment you got off the plane?
I haven't really been anywhere out here because of like the pandemic, obviously. I just started a new job. So like this is like my first at-home job. So there's that. So that's really cool. But I really love the vibe out here. The weather's really good. Believe it or not, it does get cold out here. So yeah.
Wow.
What job are you doing from home?
I'm working with Assurion right now.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
people that don't know should know eBay here. eBay and I we go back. We first started off as coworkers, okay?
Yeah.
And this funny guy, me and him, I'm more serious at work. I'm not anymore. I'm human.
Are you still there? Are you
I'm still there. I'm still there.
Okay. I was just curious.
Listen, it works for me. But we started off as coworkers, but I realized that this guy was really creative. He was really unique. He was driven. He was motivated to do other things. And those are the type of people that attract me. For the longest time, I always had those like friends or associates that were kind of sleazy or they were doing other crazy type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I really, that's what lured me to discussions with eBay. And he was talking about, doing social media and pushing his YouTube channel. And that type of stuff really geared me. And he had a lot of these like, fashion design type projects that he was working on. And here I am, a filmmaker doing my own fashion design, but I wasn't doing it for that. I was doing like wardrobe and all types of stuff. So we kind of clicked. And with that said, like one thing led to another. And I started getting him involved on an independent feature of mine, Oath to Injustice, which
is where I met you.
Is where Stefan. So we all met each other. I was the director.
In the sweltering heat.
eBay was the assistant. So with that said, how was your experience on your first independent film?
It was an experience that I would never take back. I would start out by saying that. It was one of the best experiences. It was a good way for me to kick off because obviously, like literally right after that, I ended up moving back to North Carolina. So it was like a good way for me to spend like the rest of my time in New York. I've definitely learned a lot, learning different learning different type of camera angles, learning what a rack focus was.
Oh, sorry.
There we go.
Sorry. It was
okay. Oh, okay. I thought it was me. I was like, my internet ain't. Nah,
I accidentally booted myself earlier, so don't feel bad.
So yeah, I just learned a lot. Learning to work with, different personalities and just absorbing information that I can apply, to myself and to my brand and stuff like that.
What did you find most challenging about
the most challenging, to be completely honest, there were, it is what it is. I'm very like cutthroat. It was certain people on set who acted like they were like top in their field that like were at the same level as us almost. Yeah. So it came across very like condescending. And then not for nothing, there were also people who did not need to be there. So, I said all the time, I'm like, next time you do a movie, I have no problem doing it, but we have to work on a close set. I would just say that.
Yeah. It is, what it is? It's so challenging because when you work on anything, like the one thing that's different with film that is many other art forms is you're bringing all these different people together to do one project. So you deal with all different type of personalities, and sometimes there's great chemistry, and other times it's like oil and water. And every production you're going to have something. Yeah. But I was talking to Stefan recently. I was like, you know what? It's so crazy. I feel like the last like creative moment that was normal was Oath to Injustice 2019. Like the summer of 2019, we're going back there now. We're hanging out. We all were like,
I can't believe it's been over a year now.
Almost 2 years. We're going on a year and a half.
Years, yeah.
So you're going back almost 2 years. And I remember that summer, like it was like the highlight from the last few years. I mean, we were all hanging out and like going to the restaurants after a long day of shooting.
Going to the movies and not having to worry about like,
that was like the best escape, especially for like, I can't speak for Stefan, but like for me and you, our job, and it's not to bash our job, but our job is like very like,
I used to do the same.
It was very, it was very stressful. So like to get that relief, like, we was having fun. We was going out to restaurants when we filmed at that abandoned resort, us filming and then staying up to like 8, 9, 10 o'clock. I remember like that. What was it, like the end of the night where it was just us? It was me, you, Steph, Benny.
and Benny and
And we filmed from like 6 to 6 or something crazy like that.
Yeah,
it
middle
was
of the
rough.
night.
Yeah.
I mean,
It was rough.
but
And
that's the
we
thing
were
that
all working full time at the same time on
Yeah,
top of that.
we all had full-time
And this
jobs.
was
And
like
then
7 weeks in a row, man. Like every
yeah.
weekend, Friday through Sunday, just nonstop. And like for me, it was the first time I was ever in a director of photography role. So it was
Mhm.
like a lot of it was like I never even thought of this as something that you would even have to think about
Yeah.
when making a movie. And so it was a very, very, very good learning experience.
It was really fun.
I'm looking forward to seeing it when it finally comes out, which hopefully it sounds like it should be coming up sometime soon.
Yeah. So like, yeah, it was such a wild ride, filming Oath to Injustice, and like right now I'm like so excited to see it, like when you guys get to see the film, because I think it looks really good. But at the same time, like it's had such challenges through post production with various different editors and everything else that's going on. I'm just excited for you to see it and us to have the celebration that it deserves. Because right now,
and show it to the people that we've been talking about it to for all this time. Because I'm like, I really want you to see
blah blah blah. Yeah, that's what it is. We want to show the people, but I want to do it right. Like,
yeah,
I
I'm not
could
going to show you
easily
snippets of it.
I could easily just say, here, it's released online, and here, go watch it. But at the same time, I want people to see it in a theater and see it like the natural way. So, anyways, I want to jump into the next thing, because I know that this pandemic's been tough on all of us. And what have you been doing creatively during this pandemic to stay solid?
Editing, I would say that. I've been like releasing videos from like before the pandemic. So it's like I just been going into the vault, just learning different editing tricks, because I do have a MacBook, so I use Final Cut Pro. So just working with that, and then finding other like external software to like make my quality better. Um, Researching, doing new cameras. I have an apartment now, so I think that's like my next creative process, because I have a whole 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom.
What kind of setup do you use for your, like, as far as camera and mics and stuff go? Is it like a stationary thing, or do you kind of move around a lot, or?
My videos right now, a lot of my footage is vlogs, because before I moved out, obviously I'm like living with people, so I didn't really have like the room to do sit down videos. That was part of the reason why I like left stuff up in New York, because I'm like, I don't even have anywhere to use it. So now that I have a second bedroom, um, it's just me, my ring light, my 2 soft boxes. I do want to get more lighting, and I got to get a new backdrop. I'm trying to figure out how I want to do my studio, because I work from home. So obviously part of my studio is going to be, an office where I have to work from home, and then I have to have like an area for me to edit. I'm a little bit of a gamer nerd, so I have like that too. And then I'm just in the process of, before I start like diving in and spending money, of what I want as like my backdrop. Am I gonna do the white backdrop thing, or because I love clothes, am I gonna turn like half of this room into like a giant walk-in closet? I don't know what I'm really gonna do yet. So I've just been working on that. So I would just say that, just editing, getting my house together, finding different ways. I'm thinking about going to esthetician school, because I really want to, start a skincare line, and then open up a spa, start doing
You should do
facials
it.
and stuff like that too. So yeah.
That's inspirational, because a lot of people are afraid to start up their dreams and follow their dreams, and do what they love to do. And
Especially opening brick and mortar right now, a lot of people are afraid of that. But in a way, it's also an opportunistic time to do it.
So, what, as far as your YouTube channel, what is the content that people should expect? Like, what do you want to be known for? What is
my personality, clothes, shoes, skincare, just my regular life, just being relatable to everyone. But there's also a lot of stuff that I want to do, like creatively, like with the clothes and stuff like that, like doing like short little fashion films eventually. Somebody did reach out to me, one of my new coworkers, he's like a rapper. So me and him were talking about me shooting a video for him. So me finally getting into that realm. So yeah.
So do you think that you're going to get back into filmmaking?
I definitely think so. I just want to up my equipment. I do have a camera, but it's not like I'm pretty sure I can make it work because people be filming stuff with like
You can make it work
iPhones.
with just about anything if you put your
Yeah.
mind to it.
So, but right now I started off smart. I just got because I do YouTube, obviously. So I didn't get like a big giant DSLR with a $2,000 lens. Right now, it's just like okay, I'll just start with the I have a Canon G7X Mark III.
That's a
So
nice camera.
yeah, so it's a really good camera. It works. Sometimes my footage looks shitty. Sometimes it looks cinematic. Like that's what I like about the camera. It's just really versatile.
Yeah.
But you know, just stuff like that.
No, it's good though.
Just tapping.
Keep it.
Yeah, just tapping back into my true self as like an artist. I think one of the best decisions I made, besides like moving across the country and seeing a new whole different type of scenery, the best thing was me moving out. Finally not being, being in the same household as people is just literally me and my
It's
dog.
freeing.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm learning stuff about myself and then I can like find myself without anybody telling me how to find myself. I could do it at my own pace. I could do it on my own. So yeah, just me tapping back into my creativity, what I was born to do. I've been doing art since like 5. So it's just me getting back into that.
So what social media stars or stars in general, YouTube channels inspire you, or things that you would kind of like, you know what, this guy's speaking my language here?
And where do you see it going?
Okay, that's a really good question. So I'll start out with like the inspirations. I have a lot of inspirations when it comes to YouTube from different types of YouTubers. When I first started watching YouTube, I was watching like BF versus GF, but now I'm like watching. I don't know if you guys heard of that channel called the Corridor Crew? You guys haven't heard of that? It's basically it's like these 3 people. I can't think of. I don't really know their names. I just watch them all the time, but it's like this. It's like 3 to 4 guys, and they basically do different videos like worst to best Hollywood CGI. They'll like judge it and they'll do like a whole like very, very detailed breakdown, stuff like that. Or they'll do like best and worst like stunts in Hollywood, but like they work in film. So it's like they know what they're talking about. It's just not people sitting in front of a camera and being like, oh, that looks good. Or that looks like shit. No, it's like they give a full breakdown. So I would say that just watching people with their lifestyle. And as far as like where I want to go with it, it's kind of like bigger than YouTube. I feel like YouTube is like a good place to build a fan base because people get to see you personally. And then just taking it and running with that. Because obviously I want to get into like other business ventures. Like I said, skincare, eventually get back to my roots doing clothes again. But I just want people to see me first. You know what I'm saying? And then, let the art and stuff speak for itself.
What kind of skincare products would you be interested in doing?
I would basically like focus on like combination skin, doing masks, obviously cleansers, toners, but developing some type of like full system as opposed to because
like Proactive or something for acne.
Something kind of sort of like that. And the reason why I want to go to esthetician school is because I want to learn skincare from like a scientific perspective instead of because I feel like there are a lot of independent people. There's a lot because I'm on social media a lot. Our generation, everybody's an entrepreneur. Everybody. Like I just started this job and I'm working from home, and on the Zoom call, like our first day, like literally every single one of my coworkers either are launching a business or have a business or have like 2 to 3 businesses. So, it's inspiring, but like with the skincare stuff, like I said, I want to learn from a scientific perspective because I feel like a lot of skincare independent owned skincare brands, they just like go in their kitchen and then throw like olive oil and like herbs in a bottle. And it's like, it's all natural. So
well, it's interesting what you're saying because like earlier today we were talking about the power of social media, and we were also talking about false information. There's so many YouTubers and other videos out there with people like giving remedies that are like not safe, or or they're telling people like, do this, and people are getting burnt, with the skincare lines and other shit that's going on. So it's
especially
important.
like the homeopathic stuff. Like you have people
Yeah.
who post a video as an authority when you probably should have read a little bit more of that textbook.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like I don't know what people are doing if they're going on Google. And there's some stuff that, like, I'm not going to front, there's probably stuff in your kitchen that's probably good for you, but the way y'all are combining it, you can't put certain stuff together. And then, like, I kind of like when I do my skincare line, I want to be gentle to skin. So, like, if I do an exfoliator, I'm probably going to do like a chemical exfoliant, something that's like non-physical. Because, like, I don't know if you guys remember, like, that St. Ives apricot scrub.
Mhm.
Like, that's like
You mean the
scrubbing it.
sandpaper cream?
Yeah, that's like scrubbing your face with cat litter. Like, you're not
It
like
smells better.
people are realizing like you shouldn't be using geometric, shapes on your face like that because it's like tearing up your skin, doing micro tears. So like learning stuff like that.
Yeah. See, I don't know nothing about that stuff, but that's great to have you on to do it. But like we were talking a lot about influence on social media and how like you said, like misinformation is true, and how, I guess positivity, because there's a lot of like hatred going on, a lot of what you're doing right now with your social media and everything. It's positivity. It's uplifting. Like you're talking about people are entrepreneurs, and everyone is kind of like they're driven, but it's about doing it in a way that's effective and it's positive. It's gonna like influence other people's lives, and I don't know. That's what we really get.
How do you want people to, or what do you think? Because of the rise of people using social media so much, like what do you think, in your opinion, that kids coming out of high school today should start focusing on in terms of how to make an impact on it?
As far as like kids coming out of high school
or college or whatever.
I don't have a problem with like younger people using social media, but I feel like younger people are either using social media in the right way or in the worst way. I see a lot of kids that are like I said, I watch a lot of YouTube. I do YouTube, so like it's like to the point where kids have taken advantage of social media. Like it'll be like, oh, my first apartment at 19 years old. I bought a brand new car on my own at 18 because they're taking advantage of social media or they own businesses. But then there's a dark side, I feel like, to social media for kids because I'm on Twitter a lot. And then, you have people like saying like, because of stuff like OnlyFans, it's putting pressure on people to like, and kids are so they're easily influenced about certain things. So they're like,
Especially
oh,
sex.
when I turn 18, I can make an OnlyFans and get all this money. And it's like,
yeah,
I'm not saying like there's nothing wrong with doing that, but at that age, I don't think you need to be exploiting yourself. Now, if you get older, that's on you. You know what I mean? So there's like a good side and a bad side to it.
it's scary. It is scary. I think that is real scary because the decision you make at 18 years old, and I say the same thing about college in general. You're telling this like 17, 18-year-old to take out like lifelong debt.
Yeah.
And then they're going to have to pay for it with a major and a degree that is relatively useless and just a piece of paper after 2 or 4 years.
Ding, ding, ding.
And you're making lifelong decisions. Same thing. A lot of these kids now on social media, people don't realize that their opinions and I mean, I'm all for free speech, but people don't realize that not just what they post, but what they say and what they do on social media. The world
has
is
a record
watching
of it. Like, how do you think we get all those times of like politicians where we find something that they said in the past? We're like, look what he said.
Yeah, you get years later this terrible influence, but it's cool. It's a good perspective from someone who is heavily involved in it. So that's why we're really asking.
Along those lines. What do you think about the whole situation with censorship on Twitter?
Are they getting rid of like explicit content or something like that? Are they doing like what they did to Tumblr?
Just in general, like, I mean, they basically
I feel like Twitter is like a Reddit, but like easier for the average person to use. Like
But do you think they should have the right to tell people to not post certain things?
No, unless it's like super offensive. Like I don't want to be seeing anybody get shot in the head because you see shit like that for real.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It just depends. But I feel like it's an opinion thing. You know what I'm saying? But then certain people, I don't care about people's opinion, but certain people's opinion on shit is like that's like inhumane that I just can't get down with. You know what I'm saying? So I think it just depends.
I was telling my father about that type of shit. He gets super offended by certain people's posts. Like I had this one person in my family who was like an animal activist, and they like to post like the nitty gritty animal abuse videos all on her line. I mean, like she's showing like these videos from like Indonesian videos where like there's like 60 dogs stuffed in a cage and like putting them in pots of boiling water, and I'm like, take this shit off my.
I don't want to see.
I don't want to see that.
I don't agree with it, but you don't have to throw it down my.
It's supposed to be like, like, you know, we really want to get supporters for this cause. So like, but that way of doing stuff, like that type of, I would just block the person or.
Yeah. See, that's
unfollow.
That's how I am too. When there's certain people's opinions that I don't agree with, even if I know them in real life, honestly, I would just like delete them in silence. Like I would just unfriend them or block them. They'll just never know. Now if it's like
if they're outrageous, I'll just
now if it's outrageous, I might say something, then I'll still block you. But most of the time I'm like, that's a little funny. I don't really agree with that. I would never expect them to say anything like that, and I'll just unfriend them and move on. Especially because like I'm older. That whole like arguing on social media, I feel like should have been left in like MySpace days. Like
that shit looks so tacky.
It looks like you're harboring drama, like you like it. And I don't want to judge me.
When I see, like, not for nothing, when you see people complaining or telling their life story, from my perspective, it reminds me of like white trash to me, or like it looks real sleek, like just shitty. Like when I see some girl like they're talking about her, some guy she used to love, and you know the whole 9 yards. I'm just against it in a way.
Carol Ann Tauber just commented, and it's a very good point. She said, arguing with them honestly gives them what they want anyways, and it's just easier to bow out silently and leave them be.
Yeah.
I will say something in regards to that though. Like when you do have a presence a little bit, like for example, I'm doing this, this show now, but prior to this I did film and film festival and wrote a book. I'm not giving myself kudos. However, I have stuff out there in public. And like I had some, I've had people like post false shit about me, or like, hatred type public stuff about me. So like you have no choice sometimes but to like,
well, you do need to stand up for yourself, but and don't have to engage in every battle.
Yeah, like everything, certain stuff is just like, all right, bye. Like at the end of the day. So certain stuff is like, okay, now you're being disrespectful, so now I'm gonna have to put you in your place. But I don't really. And then people be like, especially like with Facebook and stuff like that, like my family is on there, like they don't need to be seeing me like engage in that. And I left those that back in like middle school and high school. Like it's
just being a responsible adult. Like if you don't want people to see you doing dumb stuff, don't do it online.
So
go ahead.
You say what you're gonna say?
I was also saying like with the people putting their personal stuff online. Like I understand like a cry for help, but at the same time, like I don't know. I was raised to like never let anybody see your story, I guess. So like when it comes to like even outside of social media, like if I'm at like for example, if I'm at the register and I know like okay, I'm about to buy this stuff, right? But I have only X amount of dollars in my bank account after I buy this. I'm not one of those people that's like, damn, at the register, like, damn, if I buy this, like, I'm only going to have $20. I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, my mom just raised me like, don't flex. Don't pretend like you rich. But if you broke, don't be going around just in front of everybody, just saying, oh, I ain't got no money. Like, keep that between like your close ones, So
it's messed up. It's a stupid story, but like it was around the holiday, or not even around. It was after the holidays, but I think it was in the dollar store or something, or somewhere. But in front of me, the person was using their like EBT card, and the dude didn't know what he was doing, so he literally like hopped up on the mic and was like, "Homeboy's got food stamps. I need help." Like, I don't know about you, but I was like wanting to fight this guy for him because it's an embarrassing.
You don't do that. You don't do that. I would just say like we're having trouble with a transaction.
Be like, I'm gonna cut you with my card.
Yeah, like, but certain people, I don't know if maybe like that man who said that was like, you know, low income himself, because you have like the certain people who are like embarrassed of like their finances, but then you have certain people who are so used to like their lack of finances that like they just think like that's okay. And like you may think that's okay, but if anybody ever announced like, oh, his food stamp card not working, I'm cursing you out. Like,
it's just a sense of respect.
It's also you don't take into account like you don't know what that person's going through when they're going to get that card, because like, you know, there may be some people who take advantage of it and whatever, but the majority of the people who have to go and get that card, they feel ashamed about it. I mean, it's an embarrassing thing to go and beg. Like that's a very difficult thing to get over. And that's rough.
So jumping back to social media, I don't know how I got off on that tangent, but it reminded me what he was saying.
Like,
but what markets on social media, or I would say more like on YouTube in general, like is oversaturated to you? Like, we need to cut this shit out type of stuff.
Oh my God. This is like the perfect conversation for me. So this has been my struggle with my YouTube channel for years. Now, a lot of it had to do with me being inconsistent, lack of finances, me knowing that creatively I had the brain to make certain content, but technologically could not make it. So like always putting it on the back burner because of that. So now I'm at the point where I got everything. I got the camera. I got the MacBook. I got the lights. I got the studio. That's not a problem. The problem's been for me lately is the algorithm of YouTube. Unfortunately, what I like to say is you have to sell your soul to get notoriety. And then once you get those like subscribers and views, then you can go back to being yourself. So it's been a struggle for me because like I don't want to like sell out and do videos that I know I would not do. You know what I'm saying? And just to play into like what's oversaturated, couples channels. I hate couples channels. I do watch a few couples channels from like that I've been watching for like the past like 7-8 years, but like with YouTube, it is so many people, because YouTube has become so popular. It's like, oh, I want to do that too. It's just everybody just doing it because they see people are getting subscribers, not because like I like filming videos, I like editing videos, I like being in front of the camera, I like create. It's not that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like it has become so like oversaturated, political. It's to the point that like me and my at my old job, me and my friend were just talking about this. We were like, there's celebrities with YouTube channels now. Why do you have a YouTube channel when you are already a celebrity? Not realizing that a lot of people that are YouTubers became celebrities off of being YouTubers solely, or they use YouTube to get to that certain status to where that celebrity is at. So why are celebrities technically stepping down? I'll tell you why. Because it's a paycheck. They already know I'm going to get all these subscribers probably in like a week. I'm probably going to get 100,000 to 500,000 in like a month. I'm going to make videos. Half of those celebrities don't make those videos. They have a full production crew and an editor. So it's like,
and they play it off as if it's the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah. And then it's like, it's easier for them because it's like, oh, I got production crew. I got editor. So it's like instantaneously the quality of their videos are of what people either cannot do or it took them years to do. And that's the issue for me because it's like, why are you doing that? It's kind of like celebrities doing OnlyFans. Why are you doing OnlyFans? Because you want money. You want more money. That's what it's about. Not realizing that all of these regular ass people that are doing these certain things on social media is because they've looked up to you because of the certain status and the certain material possessions that you have. They feel like there was no way, whether it's somebody rapping, singing, or acting, they said they kept getting no's and doors constantly shut in their face, that's where they had to go to achieve their lifestyle, to live up to you. So why are you doing that?
Yeah.
And it's like fucking it up for everybody else. And it's like, you're not working for it. And then in terms of regular people, it's true. Everybody's just like, oh, I want to be a YouTuber now. Like there's this girl I went to middle school with, and she posted a link. She was like, oh, I just started my YouTube channel. So I click on it, and it was literally her taking a whole bunch of Snapchats, putting it in one video and putting an intro on top of it and calling it a vlog. That is not a vlog. That is lazy as hell. You understand what I'm saying? And it's like, so like, you know, then it's like you got shitty content. You got certain people that it's like, I put a lot of pressure on myself when I edit my videos. So then when I see people who have like 50,000 to 100,000 subscribers and like it looks like they're filming on like a BlackBerry, it's like, why am I putting on all of this work? You know what I'm saying? But then I try to, go ahead.
Yeah, I think I have the same type of terror as you with that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I try to do a YouTube channel, and again with this is like a part of a YouTube channel. I'm not so sure of how to gain subscribers. I'm not really good at it. I enjoy this process. But all that stuff is challenging.
It's literally the algorithm. I gained 100 subscribers in a day, but that was because I posted something on Twitter and it went viral. That was like the only way how. And then after that, I've gained a few after that, but now I'm seeing like, it'll be like, I'll get a couple new subscribers, but then my number will go like right back down. It'll be stuff like that.
I feel like now they want you to pay for the ad space, and
that's what it is too. So my views have been lower than like before, because like when I would like post my little like promos on Instagram, I would like pay for like the sponsored posts to, you know, sponsor them for a week so they can get views and likes. And then now I haven't been doing it recently, and it's like, you know, then you know, you have like the days where it's like, I'll post a snippet from my YouTube video on Instagram as promo, and that promo will get more views than the video.
Exactly.
You
And
know
same thing
saying?
like with Facebook too.
And then, you know, you have people that you know in real life that will like your post and will not watch your video, will not subscribe, or you'll send them a link. You'll be like, oh, subscribe to my channel. They'll be like, I got you. I'll refresh my page. It'll still be the same number before I sent you my link. You know what I'm saying? And I hope people do realize when you have a YouTube channel and you go in your creator studio, you can see almost every person that's subscribed to you if their, you know, their page is like public, if they have it like that. So it's just really a lot.
It's tough too, because like for me, just like what you're saying, it is tough when you have your friends and family. This is we were talking about this last week too. Support fellow artists, people in your family, other artists you know. Support each other, because they're doing something positive. They're stepping out of their comfort zone. Sometimes they're working really hard to do these things, and at the end of the day, they're people closest to them aren't giving them that like pat on the back or any sort of support. I dealt with that for years, and I still deal with it. But honestly, at the end of the day, people are going to know you for your work and your work ethic and the stuff you create, and the fans that you get are going to be the loyalist ones. So you're not going to have like, okay, mom liked my post, or, you know, whoever. It's like, it's actually a fan, somebody who like resonated with your material.
Yes.
You know, those are the things to me that were most exciting. Like when I released the book, you're going to get the reactions from family and like the uncomfortable conversations, but it was the strangers who reached out and was like, yo, this book kind of like I could relate to. And those are the ones I think for you will be most important. Now, I got this really tough question. Tough one. What type of hang on a second. What type of social media people are you totally, or no, this was one, sorry, scrap that idea.
Okay.
Are you okay with YouTubers, Facebookers, Twitterers, whatever, buying likes and subscribers?
No.
No.
Like,
And
what do
it's
you
a very
say?
common
Because
practice, unfortunately.
it is common.
I would respect somebody more if they made like multiple email accounts to like subscribe to their channel to make it look a little bit bigger as opposed to somebody buying it.
It's still dishonest, though.
It's still dishonest, but I would respect that more if you're gonna be dishonest.
There's been
it's
a
more
lot.
work. Yeah.
There's a lot of people out there that could become over. If you got a little bit of money in your pocket, you could become an overnight.
And
sensation.
a lot of it has to do with pretty privilege too. I feel like that's a real thing.
Pretty privilege. Oh,
Yeah.
I've been saying that for years, and I'm probably gonna get hate for saying it, which that's my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you could be,
and that doesn't apply to women. That applies to men too.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
you'd be a really attractive
I used
man
to
or
be
woman.
really overweight. Trying to get a job was a nightmare.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
You know, I've seen some really attractive women get out of circumstances that that I definitely wouldn't have gotten out of.
If I batted my
whether
eyes
holding
at
a
the top,
job.
they'd be like, "That's nice."
Mm-hmm.
This isn't woman hating or beauty hating.
No,
but I'm just saying,
not.
I definitely do believe it's a true thing. Pretty privilege.
Yeah.
There's a lot of celebrities. There's a lot of music artists that literally I feel like they're beautiful. They can dress really well. They have a good creative direction team. They have a really good stylist. You know, they're gorgeous, but musically, but I feel like everything else shadows the actual talent. Huh?
Vice versa. Like, what's the Boyle lady from England's Got Talent?
Mm-hmm.
Susan Boyle, where not pretty, not like all done up and everything, but then all of a sudden she sings and she's like a freaking angel.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the whole Britney Spears syndrome. A woman that can't really sing, you know, she doesn't choreograph her own dance moves. She doesn't dress herself. She doesn't write her own lyrics. And they definitely put all types of mixers over her voice when she sings. It's Britney, bitch. And then, and then, you know, whether you love her or not, I'm not going to lie. I had a Britney Spears album when I was younger.
I like Britney Spears.
And I got caught up. I got caught up in the hood. They looked at I had a CD player at the time, and like I was working, and the dude's like, "Yo, who the fuck's shit is this?" Some dude's listening to this shit. I'm like, he pointed it out. I was like, that ain't mine.
I like Britney Spears. I actually was watching some videos about her a few months ago, just going into the YouTube loophole. So apparently that's not her real voice, but not in her real voice of like somebody ghost singing. That
no,
like,
it's like synthesized.
Yeah, that like baby voice. Her label,
baby.
Her label literally made her sing like that. Like I've heard her actual like voice, and she
it's
really
horrible.
doesn't. Really, because I've heard her real like voice that sounds deep.
Maybe it was just a bad performance.
Horrible.
I don't know, but the time I heard her perform live, it was like
they like literally made her sing in like that weird voice. But it's really unfortunate. That happens a lot with the labels. So yeah.
Do you really think in your heart and soul that it's possible for you to be a successful artist in 2021 without any social media presence?
No.
Like you can't just make it through like sending shit out to, you know, companies or record labels or whatever your art form is to get it through that way.
How persistent you are and how lucky you are.
It definitely has a lot to do with consistency. I feel like it has a lot to do with manifestation too. I feel like consistency is manifestation at the same time. I feel like I feel like in this new day and age with social media, I feel like even, for example, like being a music artist, you don't even need a label anymore. Honestly, a lot of like the veterans are encouraging like these newbies to like don't even sign. Like you're perfectly fine doing what you're doing on your own. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't have all these hands in your creativeness and in your money and stuff like that. There's artists that are performing at award shows that are not even signed. So I definitely feel like social media has a lot to do with it.
Wasn't that was like the whole thing with I think like Chance the Rapper? He was like an unsigned artist and you know, just blew up big. And I guess his main thing was he was selling like his hat, his logo, his hat. And he said he made like a few $1 million off of just selling his hat. And he was able to produce records and pay for features on his stuff that helped him get noticed.
Yes.
You know, so I don't know. It is interesting because I talked to a few people about social media and what I can do. And they're like, yeah, man, like your shit is really good. You know, you're really artistic. You really think outside the box. However, you need to work on your social media. You really need to push it. So it's important. I know it's a topic. I sound like I'm repeating myself, but it's the big topic of discussion tonight. Social media and the influence it has on people. And I think we've got a lot of interesting perspectives of it. It's like the children point of how, you know, we need to kind of monitor what's going on and influence them to make the right choices.
And do you feel it's gotten harder also to make money off of YouTube? Because like in the beginning, it kind of was
absolutely.
Yeah,
you have to have a
post a live stream now without 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah, you can't even get your videos monetized unless you have 1,000. When I started YouTube in like 2014, there's videos that I've like put private because they're like really cringy. But like when I first started YouTube, when I was like 20, 21, 19, I was signed to a network and I was only making a few cents, but I was making cents literally off of my videos. Yeah. You cannot do that anymore. Even like if you go on YouTube and if you go on like your homepage and certain people you're subscribed to, they'll have like these posts that kind of almost look like Instagram posts where to like promote videos. It'll be like, you know how like YouTube has like its own version of like IG stories now? You have to have 10,000 subscribers to even use that feature. And this is what I'm talking about. I feel like due to the politicalness and the oversaturation that has occurred in YouTube, that has caused stuff like that. And I don't know if YouTube is looking at it like, oh, y'all motherfuckers making too much money. So now we can't just have too many of y'all just making money. Like you got to actually like qualify to make money.
I think it is a filtering process. I think they're filtering out because they probably in their mentality is the people that really fight and really are consistent, like you said, will eventually over time get to somewhere where they need to be. But all the other people like will kind of like either fall out, and that's what they kind of want. They probably don't want a million. They want a lot of viewers. They don't want a million. They don't want a billion creators on there that are making shitty ass content. And like a lot of times you'll see YouTubers that they'll make a million videos and they're long and there's no views, which means they clearly didn't share it anywhere. You know, I mean, I don't consider myself a YouTuber, but I have a YouTube channel, but at the same time, like,
and then you'll see some people who just pay such close attention to detail and quality and everything else that when they post their video, they may only have 13 videos on their channel, but they got like 1 million subscribers. Yeah. It's like, how do you do that?
Yeah. No, for real, how do you do that? There's certain people like, because I watch big YouTubers and like smaller ones who are kind of like around my range. So like one girl, I just randomly found her because like when we have an apartment, I watch like a lot of apartment tours, obviously, because like I get inspiration and stuff like how I want my house to look and stuff, or like what's functional for me. So like when I first started watching her, she had probably like over 200 subscribers. I watched her apartment tour. I didn't watch her again for like 2 weeks. So she popped up in my suggested again because I wasn't subscribed to her yet. So I clicked on the video and it was another video and she had like 1,000 in like a week or like week and a half or whatever. And I'm like, what the fuck did you do that I didn't do? You know what I'm saying? But
did you buy them?
I don't really think she bought them.
No.
This is what I'm talking about, where people are doing videos that you can search, that's easy to search, that everybody's doing, and you're gonna come up and they're gonna be like, oh, I like her, so they're gonna subscribe.
Yeah. You know what though? You want to know what some of my pet peeves are with social media and with YouTube in general, or people making videos, Instagram, is the artists that only really capitalize on like the hot topic current events. And like, for example, like if this song is trendy, I'm going to make a video and reacting to it, a reaction.
Reaction.
Or the opening.
I do watch reaction videos. Now I'm on the fence about them too, because I like watching them, especially specifically if it's my favorite artist, I will watch reaction videos when they drop new shit because I'm like, okay, I want to see everybody else's opinion. I have no problem with that. But then in my brain, being a creative person, it comes back, of
Yeah.
you saw millions of people sitting in front of a camera watching videos and decided I want to do that too because they got popular off of it. So it's like,
Yeah, like for example, like
yeah.
everyone knows I'm a big Marilyn Manson fan. So like when
Mhm.
I look up like Marilyn Manson reactions, there's like Christians react to Marilyn Manson,
Yeah, that's the new
and
that's the new
it's like
thing.
a
When I was
couple.
younger,
It's
I
like
didn't listen to his words. I just was told that he was bad and evil, so I was like, no, he's no good. And then I listened to him, like, this isn't that bad.
Yeah, that's not that bad.
no, but like it was like Christians listen to Marilyn Manson, so
Mhm.
I want to see what the reaction is. And it's really not Christians. It's like a
Yeah.
couple that might go to church once in a while.
Yeah.
Like it's the stuff like that. It does irk me, but I'll watch it. I
Mhm.
agree with you, but
Yeah.
they'll post like a video, like 10 of those videos a day,
Yeah.
and of
Yes,
course,
those reactors, they
Mhm.
just be pumping those reaction videos out. They do.
I don't even know how they render the videos quick enough to pump them out
Yeah,
like
I
that.
don't
It's
know.
a lot of work, but stuff like that, or like I said, the current event stuff. Like, for example, we've been talking a lot on this channel about stimmies, of people getting a
Okay.
stimulus check.
That I still haven't gotten.
So many
Oh,
people,
No.
so many people online were making like false ass rumors and having like an entire like you
Thread.
see a whole like the guy's in a business suit, he's talking all this stuff like he works for the IRS, and he's like, yeah, we're all getting $10,000 checks. Trump said so, and like Biden's gonna sign a $20,000, he's gonna cancel this or whatever, and like you kind of believe these guys, but they're spreading false bullshit. They're running on the idea of like clickbait.
Well, it's true.
That's
There's a
another
video I
thing
found
with
the other
social
day that I
media.
sent to my mom. Specifically, the reason I clicked on it is because it had a very unique title and cover image. It said "Cannabis and Opium in the Victorian Era," and so I was like, okay, this is an interesting documentary. Let me look at this. It was more about herbal remedies and pharmacopoeia and homeopathy. And it had one tiny segment about those two items, yet the entire title is very misleading. My mom goes, why are you sending me something about pot? I'm like, just watch the show.
And then see, that's another thing too that a lot of popular YouTubers tell you. They're like, it's about what your title is. Make sure your thumbnail looks interesting enough for somebody to click on your stuff. That's why like a lot of channels are like cringy, like the prank channels or the couples
Fake
channels. Yeah, a lot of those pranks are fake. Like, okay, I used to watch this couple. They're not together anymore. They used to be called BF versus GF. They were like one of the like OG couple YouTube channels. I don't know if you guys remember that show that used to come on MTV. It was like this like nerdy kid. He had glasses and he would just do like a compilation of pranks. They ended up on there all the time. I cannot remember the name of that show.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the blonde guy with he's like a magician or something, or no, not the same guy.
I don't remember. It was, I don't know, but they were on there all the time. But I feel like with BF versus GF, they were a couple. They did do vlogs. It was a couple channel, but they were literally so passionate about pranks that they ended up doing their own like highly produced like almost like a punked where they were like close friends with like other YouTubers and they would like set them up in these scenarios. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like they were like literally that's what they enjoy doing.
Yeah.
I just feel like now with prank channels are either fake
Oh my
or
god.
it's like, oh,
they're so fake.
let me put blood on my face and my girlfriend will come home and I tell her I got jumped. Okay. And how many people are going to do that? So then it comes to a point where I feel like it is fake because you have a couple's YouTube channel, right? And all their videos are pranks. How do you not know every weird ass situation that your significant other is doing to you it comes to a certain point where it's like, you should know it's a prank. How are you not knowing you're being
camera there?
Yeah. How are you not knowing every weird ass situation your significant other is putting you through is not a prank?
It's always bullshit. It's total bullshit because like there's so many of the prank channels where I watch like the girlfriend sleeping all the time and she's sleeping as like they're carrying her down the stairs.
Yeah.
They're setting up an entire pool for her to fall in the bedroom. Like, get the fuck out of here. Stefan, your mic. Put your mic towards your mouth.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's all right. I'm just saying. It was hard to hear you.
Real quick, Roseanne was saying, do you feel you have to post daily?
I wouldn't say daily, but definitely consistent. And I have not posted in the last 2 weeks only because like there's a lot of shenanigans going on in the world. So I was like, people ain't gonna pay attention to me right now. But I put myself on a schedule of Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So I was in a rut for a while. That's why my YouTube channel was like inconsistent, because like I had the technology, but I just was like going through a lot of shit personally, that like I couldn't focus on it. But also I had to put myself into the groove of actually enjoying editing videos. And I wouldn't say I don't enjoy it.
I don't.
The part I really hate about editing my videos is sticking my SD card in, uploading the footage to Final Cut, uploading the footage on the timeline, and you got to literally sit there and watch all of that raw footage
Over
and take over it and keep fine tuning it and taking out what you don't want and keeping in. Then you like, oh, I edited too much of that out. So then you got to put that. That's the part I hate. The part I like is the actual like adding the edits. I call it the embellishments. That's the part I enjoy. So sometimes like I don't upload consistently because I'm like, oh, I don't just feel like I got to take an hour and a half worth of footage and condense it into like 20 minutes. Like I just don't feel like doing it right now.
Yeah.
That's just the part I hate.
Then how do you motivate yourself to get to that level, to actually get it done?
I just put myself, what I did was I put myself on a schedule. I released the schedule on my YouTube channel. So I was like, now that I released it, I have to do it. What was motivating was getting likes, getting subscribers. Now I have like brand new people here. So now I have to like live up. I can't just disappear. I know that it's not going to lift off if I'm inconsistent. I can't upload 2 videos and expect to get 1 million subscribers. Like that's unrealistic. They just have to stay consistent. Learning what hours to edit. So I learned like, okay, I upload Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right? So I'm like, okay, this sounds like a lot. Maybe this is too much. So what I do is the day I upload, I start my edit. So if I'm uploading on a Monday, I'm starting the raw edit for my video on Wednesday. So I'll raw edit the video. I'll get everything I need out of it. So then Tuesday comes. That's my off day where I'm not uploading a video. So that day, I'm doing all the embellishments, adding all of the edits, getting all like making my Instagram promo, making my thumbnail. So I'll do like all like the fancy stuff that day. So then when Wednesday comes, I could just upload everything at once. And then I kind of do it like that.
All said and done, how long does it take you to do that process from start to finish, do you think?
Depending on how long the video is, if I'm just doing a raw edit, it could take anywhere from like 2 to 3 hours.
Wow.
I'm envious of that. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Charles.
I thought that was a long time, but once I started putting myself on that schedule, like it took me 2 weeks to finally like edit. One day I edited a video in a day, like where I edited everything. I cut it, I edited it, add my intro, outro, subscribe buttons, all my extra little embellishments, text and stuff like that. So it helped for that, but it takes a while. But before, when I first got all my equipment, I'm not gonna lie, it was taking me like a week to edit like one video. It was like, okay, 45 minutes, all right, my eyes are starting to burn. I'm done.
Yeah.
So my problem is I fall asleep with my whole sleep disorder, and there's been times where I've accidentally fallen asleep, my fingers hit like the backspace button and just landed there and erased everything.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's actually one of the nightmares. I don't fall asleep like that, but that was one of my nightmares. I'm terrible with editing. That's one of the reasons I originally started off as the editor to Oath to Injustice. And I know I could put the movie together, but tell me how to mix the audio throughout and add the effects and all the other shit, the color grading.
And see, that's why I haven't fully dived into like completely upgrading my equipment, because I know right now I don't have the patience for that shit.
But you know what? The truth of the matter is,
just a regular plug-in external mic, or sometimes I just use my mic. That's the external mic that's on the camera. It doesn't sound bad. So
the truth of the matter is, though, like if you ever wanted to do bigger productions, you could always outreach to other people. Like, you know, I mean, it's hard, but like having someone, like if you're doing like a gig or you're doing other like film gigs, like for me, I've had to come to terms with I can't do everything. Like I could write a script, I could film it, you know, I could do all that. So I could act, but ask me to edit, I don't enjoy it. So,
Okay.
you know, if it's a YouTube thing, you got to do. But like, if you're doing other bigger gigs like stuff,
Mhm.
I would definitely like outsource somebody somebody else to jump on that. So I'm gonna ask a fun question.
Okay.
Who's more influential? Bart Simpson or Stewie Griffin?
I feel like Stewie, definitely.
You think
Like,
it's more generational though?
I could see that. I could see that. Because just growing up, so I'll be 27 this year, just to give you a range of like my generation. So I grew up in the early 2000s. Um, we were talking about The Simpsons, but we were definitely in class talking about episodes of Family Guy. We were definitely talking about Stewie way more than Bart.
When I was in elementary school, we were, I don't know, I was kind of like in the midway point. Like we talked about both because I got, and South Park too. So like it was that transition from one to the next.
Yeah, and see, like the generation, like, okay, so like I have two brothers, one's 30, one's 34. So like my 34-year-old brother, he was more like into South Park and stuff like that. So it is definitely like a generational thing. But for me, I would definitely say Stewie. And I just think the dynamic of it, like, okay, Bart Simpson was cool, but like a baby with a big ass football head, like with a
With
deep
spikes.
British man voice, like being extremely vulgar, like it's definitely way more dimensional to me than like Bart.
I always like to throw these curveballs with interesting questions.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think your biggest pet peeves in doing what you do is, as far as like your creative?
My biggest pet peeve. I can't really say editing because I kind of already went over that, but I would just say editing. Or sometimes filming, uploading it to my computer, and it doesn't look the way I thought it would. So then I'm contemplating, should I just can it or should I just put it out just to have content?
It's like the eternal struggle.
What is your opinion on that, Charles? When you post content, would you rather post something than nothing?
Do you want to know something? I think over the years, I've been in that situation so many times. It's a pet peeve of mine because I have so much content I don't release because I'm self-conscious of how it's going to get viewed. I'm the type of person, I'm one of these people. I'll post something, and if it doesn't get immediate traction, I sometimes take it down. Because as a creator, like, your creation is meant to be viewed or watched or entertained. And if it's not getting the viewership that you desire, it's like, what the fuck did I do it for? Is there something wrong with it? Then you start overthinking every little aspect critically. Like, oh, is it because it's bad music or the sounds? That's why like criticism's even harder to hear because of all these internal thoughts. So to me, yeah, I definitely feel that way.
I would say that. I would definitely say that too. Especially with me recently, I had gotten into such a bad funk with YouTube because it was like I was uploading consistently, and you know, like I said, my channel's small right now, so it's like fluctuating. I'll get like triple digit views, then I'll get double digit views, and then like 1 week I uploaded a video and it got like 8 views, and I was like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, what happened? Can I curse on here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you definitely can.
Okay.
Freedom of speech, baby.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? And then, you know, like my videos, if you go on my channel, my videos are not short. So now I'm like, okay, maybe I need to make my videos a little bit shorter because maybe I'm just putting a little bit too much time. And then, you know, when you go on your analytics, you can see how long on average people are viewing your videos. You know, certain videos you may upload, they may watch the whole thing, they may watch half of it, but sometimes you'll make a 30-minute video and the average view duration is like a minute and a half. So it's like, well, why the hell am I making all of these long, extravagant, you know, videos? So I would say that too. I agree with that.
We were talking about this with Stefan the other day because like we thought about doing like like this, like an open type discussion.
Mhm.
And like, oh, like how long do we have it? It was a half an hour. So we kind of like, we have it at like a 2 hour mark, because typically discussions like this could last a very long time. And we kind of been all over the place, but every week we have our own, you know, topic of discussion. But the way it is sometimes people will come in, like the live show, they'll come in 20 minutes in, they'll come in 30 minutes in, but they might go back to it the next day and watch the whole, you know, because they're like, oh, what were they talking about in the beginning? So that's our hopes, because like I'm watching the views fluctuate as we were talking. Like it goes from 12, 15 throughout, going up and down. So hopefully some of those people come back, and that's my hopes for it. And I think it is. There's a ton of comments, by the way, and I don't want to keep you forever. So I'm going to ask you one last.
I was fine, but okay.
What was that?
I said it was fine. I wasn't in a rush, but okay, go ahead.
No, hang on. I was gonna...
However long you want me for.
Well, we could go all night, but at the same time, we started at 7. So,
okay,
what would you do if you can change anything? What would you do to make the world a better place?
Oh, take everything that like is inhumane and I don't agree with and is not that is extremely stifling to human life, and then put it on this big spaceship and then fly it to another planet. I know that sounds that sounds very childish, but that's what I would do.
Listen, like our questions, we go all over the place. I feel like we had such like deep discussions in the beginning. We like to keep something light and like keep it all over the place, keep us exciting. But it's been a pleasure. We definitely want to have you again. Maybe have you for the whole 2 hours next time.
And if people want to find you, what is the name of your channel?
Ibae Black TV. So pretty much the name that's tagged on me. That's literally all you have to type in. Ibae Black TV on Twitter, Ibae Black TV on Instagram, because everything was all over the place. So I finally like made everything, you know, that's part of branding yourself on social media. So everything's like the same across the board. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Ibae. We had fun.
Not a problem. I have fun too. It was good seeing y'all. It's been a long time. Thank you.
Well, hopefully you get up here in the spring or summer, and if you're not too busy out there, and
yeah, hopefully
it will be the premiere.
Yeah, hopefully you guys can always come here too. So now you have an excuse to come over here.
Vegas. Yeah, baby.
Yeah, it is. It really is. All right. See you guys later.
All right, have a good night, guys.
Bye.
Hey.